I get tips from people as to where there might be something hiding, and then sometimes I'll just take a day and just go searching.
Danny Koker is a man who built his life around two strong passions: cars and music. Long before he became a TV star, he was just a boy growing up with a mix of loud engines and soft piano sounds around him. He was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and from a young age, he was surrounded by both mechanical and musical influence. His family had deep roots in both fields. On one side, his relatives worked with engines and automobiles, teaching him how machines worked, how to fix them, and how to understand every small detail inside a car. On the other side, his family also had a strong connection to music, especially gospel singing and piano playing. This combination shaped Danny into someone who could understand both art and engineering at the same time. As a child, Danny showed talent very early. He could sit at a piano and play complex music, and at the same time, he was curious about how cars worked under the hood. While other kids might choose one path, Danny naturally moved between both worlds. He didn't see a need to choose between them. Instead, he wanted both. This made him different from many people around him. As he grew older, his skills improved in both areas. He learned how to repair engines and also how to perform music in front of people. When Danny became a young adult, he moved to Las Vegas, a city full of entertainment, lights, and opportunities. There, he started building his identity. He performed music, worked on cars, and slowly created a local reputation. He even worked on television in small roles connected to horror movie hosting, where he developed a unique personality that fans began to notice. This early mix of creativity and mechanical skill became the foundation of everything he would later achieve. Even though he was not famous yet, the building blocks of his future success were already in place. His early life shows how passion, when combined with patience and hard work, can shape a very unusual and successful career path. Danny Koker's rise to fame did not happen overnight. Before he had his own show, he first appeared as a guest expert on the popular TV show Pawn Stars. This was a turning point in his life. On that show, he was brought in as a car expert who could quickly judge the value of classic vehicles. What made Danny special was not just his knowledge, but the way he explained things. He didn't sound like a teacher or a textbook. Instead, he spoke like someone who truly loved cars. He could look at a broken or old car and immediately understand its history, value, and condition. Viewers quickly noticed him. Every time he appeared on screen, he brought energy and confidence. He could walk into a scene, inspect a car, and give an answer that felt both accurate and entertaining. This made producers pay attention. The History Channel saw that Danny had something special. He was not just knowledgeable, he was also entertaining to watch. That combination is very rare in television. Because of this, producers decided to create a new show centered around him. That show became Counting Cars. The idea was simple: follow Danny and his team as they restored, modified, and bought classic cars in Las Vegas. The show allowed viewers to see the inside world of his shop, Count Kustoms, and experience the excitement of car restoration. It was not just about cars, it was about personality, teamwork, and passion. When Counting Cars first aired, it quickly gained attention. Fans enjoyed the mix of car culture, humor, and real-life shop drama. Danny became a recognizable face on television. His personality stood out because he was calm but confident, serious but also fun. This period marked the beginning of his transformation from a local Las Vegas figure into a national TV personality. It was the moment when his lifelong passion turned into mainstream success. Once Counting Cars became popular, Danny Koker's life changed completely. His custom shop, Count Kustoms, became the center of attention for fans from all over the country. The show gave viewers a look inside the daily work of restoring old cars, building custom designs, and handling customer requests. But what made the show special was not just the cars, it was the people working inside the shop. Danny led a team of skilled workers, each with their own personality. Some were painters, some were mechanics, and others were fabricators. Together, they created a busy and sometimes chaotic environment. There were disagreements, jokes, and creative arguments, but at the end of the day, they all shared one goal: building amazing cars. This real-life tension and teamwork made the show feel natural and entertaining. Danny himself acted as the leader, often balancing business decisions with creative ideas. He had to manage money, customers, and deadlines, while also making sure the final product met high standards. His role was not easy, but he handled it with experience and confidence. Fans liked watching how he solved problems and guided his team. As the show continued for many seasons, it became one of the most popular automotive programs on television. It attracted millions of viewers and created a strong fan base. People were not just watching cars being built, they were following the lives of the people building them. The shop became almost like a character itself, full of energy, noise, and creativity. Over time, Danny also expanded his brand beyond the show. He opened a rock-themed bar in Las Vegas, performed music with his band, and continued building his identity as both a musician and a mechanic. At this stage of his life, everything seemed successful. However, like many long-running shows, changes behind the scenes would eventually affect its future. After many successful seasons, Counting Cars eventually began to slow down. Viewers started noticing changes in the show. Episodes felt less frequent, and updates became less consistent. Behind the scenes, several factors were affecting production. Television costs were rising, and maintaining a large car restoration show became expensive. Every episode required parts, labor, and time, which added up quickly. At the same time, viewer habits were changing. More people were moving to online platforms instead of traditional TV. This affected ratings across many shows, not just Counting Cars. Even though the show still had loyal fans, the overall numbers were not as strong as before. Production companies often make decisions based on cost and ratings, and this show was no exception. Another major factor was the global COVID-19 situation, which affected filming schedules around the world. Lockdowns and safety rules made it difficult to continue normal production. Car sourcing, shop work, and filming became harder to manage. As a result, the show slowed down even more. Eventually, the show quietly stopped producing new episodes. There was no big announcement or dramatic ending. For many fans, it simply faded away. One day it was airing, and then it was not. This silence led to confusion and questions. People wondered if the show would return or if something had gone wrong behind the scenes. Danny himself did not make many public statements about the ending. He continued working in his shop and focusing on his business. The lack of clear explanation allowed rumors to grow online. Fans began to speculate about what really happened, which created more mystery around the situation. Even though the show ended quietly, its impact on car culture and television remained strong. One of the more serious issues linked to Count Kustoms involved financial trust. Over the years, reports and public records suggested that a former employee was involved in financial wrongdoing within the business. According to these reports, money was mismanaged and taken from company accounts without permission. This situation caused legal action and investigations. Danny Koker, as the business owner, had to deal with the emotional and financial impact of this betrayal. He had built his business on trust, treating his team like family. Discovering that someone had abused that trust was deeply upsetting. It also raised concerns about internal control and business security. While the legal process addressed the issue, it left a lasting effect on the shop's environment. Trust is very important in a creative and fast-moving business like custom car building. After such events, it is natural for leadership to become more careful and cautious. Danny reportedly became more focused on oversight and structure within his company. However, it is important to understand that businesses often go through internal challenges, especially when they grow large and attract attention. Count Kustoms was no longer a small garage, it was a well-known brand with employees, customers, and media attention. With that level of growth, problems can become more complex. This period also contributed to stress and change within the organization. While the show continued during some of these events, behind-the-scenes pressure was increasing. These issues did not destroy the business, but they did change the way it operated. It marked a shift from a relaxed creative shop to a more carefully managed business environment. After the show slowed down, the internet began to fill the silence with rumors. Social media platforms often create speculation when there is no official update. In Danny Koker's case, many stories appeared online about his business, his personal life, and the future of his show. Some of these claims were exaggerated or completely unverified. Videos and posts began circulating, suggesting dramatic events behind the scenes. Some of these stories mixed real facts with false information, making it difficult for casual viewers to know what was true. This is a common issue in online culture, where entertainment figures often become subjects of speculation. Danny himself did not publicly respond to most of these rumors. Instead, he continued focusing on his work and maintaining a low profile. This silence, however, sometimes made the rumors grow even more. In online culture, lack of response is often misinterpreted as confirmation, even when it is not. Despite the rumors, there is no strong evidence that Danny's life or business collapsed. In fact, many reports suggest he continued running his shop and working on projects. However, public perception can sometimes be shaped more by online stories than by real facts. This situation shows how modern media can quickly change a person's image. A well-known TV personality can go from weekly television appearances to being discussed mainly through speculation. It highlights the power of social media in shaping narratives, even when official information is limited. Today, Danny Koker remains active in Las Vegas, continuing to work on cars and manage his business. Even though Counting Cars is no longer airing new episodes, his shop, Count Kustoms, still exists and operates. He continues to be involved in automotive work, music, and other creative projects. Danny's legacy is strongly tied to his ability to combine passion with entertainment. He is not just seen as a mechanic or a TV personality, but as someone who built a unique lifestyle around what he loves. His influence helped bring classic car culture into mainstream television and inspired many people to appreciate restoration work. He also remains connected to music, which has always been part of his identity. Whether performing or playing privately, music